Okay, guys. So today's task is to learn how to do vocabulary acrostics. That's what I call them. If you click on the Chromebook, it's going to take you to a link that will define acrostics and give you some examples. Those are acrostic poems. That's not exactly what I'm having you do. This is kind of my own spin on it. What you're going to do is you're going to open up your copy of the first vocab set acrostics. You're only going to have to do 5 of the 10 words. Usually when I have you do acrostics, I don't have you do all 10 words in a set. I usually give you a choice of either half or a smaller number than the whole number. I'm going to do one of the ones that I would not recommend you do your first time out of the gate because it's, first of all, very long. It's got a lot of vowels, especially U's, which can be troublesome. And I want to show you one. Okay, so what you've got is you've got 2 columns. You've got the column with the words already laid out in the correct way for you to do the acrostics on, and then a column for the definition of the word. And you can go to Quizlet, use the definition from Quizlet. You can go to dictionary.com, which is where you're going to need to go to do this assignment, and put in your word, or you can put in a definition that has to do in your own words. That's fine with me. I don't care. Let's go ahead and put in lugubrious. And you can see that we've got mournful, dismal, or gloomy, especially in an affected, exaggerated, or unrelieved manner. Okay, so copy that. I think that copied that. Nope. Sorry about that. Did not do the right thing. Okay, I don't want to go to these things. Nope. Automatically took me back. There we go. Copy it. Paste it. I'm going to change it to the font I like. You can leave it the way it is. That's fine with me. Okay, now the next task is to go back to the dictionary, and you can see that in the blue, you're in the actual dictionary part, okay? You can just see synonyms for lugubrious on thesaurus.com, or if you ever come to the website and you just want to automatically go to the thesaurus, you would just click on thesaurus and put in your word. On dictionary.com, as I said, though, if you're already in your word, it gives you the link to just go to the synonyms. Now, first thing to notice, the thesaurus pages are orange. Dictionary is blue, thesaurus is orange. All right, they give you a little color key. The darker the orange is, the more relevant the synonym is. In other words, it's a closer synonym for the word. And then the lighter the orange, the broader categorization it would be, and they're not exact synonyms. For the purposes of this acrostic assignment, or any acrostic assignment I give you, feel free to use any of them. We're kind of going to play fast and loose in a way with these because, as you can see, and notice that there are 2 tabs here. There's dismal and there's melancholy. And if you look, really the only different one is pensive on them. So I'm going to go ahead and click over to melancholy. If you look, there's bleak for a B. There's sorrowful for an S. And gloomy for a G. So out of 10 letters, you only have 3 words that automatically come from dictionary.com. And that's, for a word, you're going to get between 3 and 5. That's probably what's going to happen. All right, so come over here and fill in the ones you can. So we've got gloomy, we've got bleak, we've got sorrowful. Now's where you have to get creative. You're going to have to come up with phrases that are other ways of saying some of these words. You're going to have to come up with examples. They don't have to just be single words, and they don't have to just be synonyms. All right, so for an L, L is always easy enough to do. Put it as lacking, and then just put in an antonym for your word. Okay, so if you look at lugubrious, antonyms are cheerful and joyful. So for lacking, I might say lacking cheer. Okay. Now, for U's, believe it or not, U's are not as bad as some of the other letters. U's, you can usually use the word usually or unusually and then follow it with one of the words from the synonym list. So I'm going to say that someone lugubrious is unusually mournful. Unusually mournful. Okay. I'm also going to say that they're usually dour. Have another U at the end, but we'll come back to that one in a minute. All right, so now we have an R. Another good word to use for R if you don't have a synonym that begins with that letter is really. So I'm going to say really depressed. Okay, now the I's and the O's can be difficult, but what I usually suggest is to have a prepositional phrase. So in a blank, on the blank, something like that. So since lugubrious means melancholy, lacking cheer, really depressed, I'm going to say in a funk. In a funk. If you're in a funk, you're in a bad mood. I'm also going to use for O only or one. Okay? Only or one would work. I'm going to say only sad. A lugubrious person is only sad. This leaves me with just one U. I could do usually or unusually again. I'm going to try a different word. I think I could do something like under the weather. Now, again, under the weather is not an exact synonym for lugubrious, but it's under the umbrella of things that would go with lugubrious. Okay, so there's my acrostic for the word lugubrious, and over here is the definition. Now, you have to pick 5 of the remaining 9 words, okay? I've given you 5 red X's at the bottom. For the ones you choose not to do, let's say one of them is purloin, drag the X to the box with the definitions to let me know you've skipped that one. Obviously, you're not going to need all of the X's. I'll probably just get rid of one of them because you're only going to need 4 of them because I did lugubrious for you. All right, so that's how you'll tell me which ones you've chosen not to do. Okay, and good luck. Again, please remember how to do all of this. Remember all the tricks that I've given you. I will tell you that A is a vowel we haven't covered. A, you can just start like a phrase, or an blank, for an example. That's always a good way to do if you don't have a word. If you have Z's or X's, those are hard. The Z's, hopefully you can find one that will work. For the X, if you need to have the X as the second letter and have an E to the left of the X, that's okay. I understand. There are not that many words that start with X. Believe it or not, Y is a troublesome letter. There aren't that many words that are relatively common that start with Y. So you might try to avoid words that have Y's in them. I don't think we have a pseudonym. So I don't know. You might want to avoid pseudonym just because, although with that one, you probably could say something like your nickname, your false name. That would work for that. But those are the letters that are the biggest problems. If you need help, again, you can ask me and I'll try to help you come up with a phrase or word that you could use.